Hello, Senator Boudreaux.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great.
An exciting time for you.
Yes, it really is.
All right, good. Hi, I'm Susanna Johnson Malborough, publisher of the Southern View magazine. And today we're going to be interviewing Senator Boudreaux, who's the newly elected senator of District 24 for Louisiana. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're really excited about that.
It's a great opportunity,
All
and
right.
we take the calling very seriously.
All right.
Yes.
Well, for the people, I know a lot of people know you. You've been, an integral part of our community for such a long time. But I'm sure there are some people that don't know about Gerald Boudreaux. So just let us know who you are. Tell us about your family.
Well, it's again a great opportunity for me to serve, and originally born here in Lafayette, and grew up, went to Northside High School, USL, and for the past 32 years have worked in Parks and Recreation.
Exactly.
And we've had an opportunity to interact with a lot of our constituents, and we've seen that those who have participated in some of our recreation programs who now have kids in the program and they're coaching. So it's kind of a second cycle. Married to Carlos Cooper from Shreveport, and we have 3 daughters, Whitney, Brittany, and Haley.
3 beautiful daughters.
Thank you.
A set of twins,
Yes,
no
it
doubt.
is. Whitney,
And one is
Brittany.
musically inclined.
Yes.
Is that Haley? Right.
Haley is, and we're so proud of all 3 of them. They're working in their post secondary degrees in nursing.
Nursing?
Yes. And
All
then
3 of them?
No, Haley's going to graduate in May in education,
Okay.
lower elementary education,
Right.
and as you said, she's so musically inclined.
Yeah.
And does a great job. We're all members of Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic
Okay.
Church, where I'm so honored and again blessed to serve as
Blessed.
one of the trustees there,
Exactly.
where we continue to help people. So we've been a part of a number of organizations. You and I have served
yes,
on
we
the Martin
have.
Luther King Committee, and
How many years?
oh,
A lot.
a lot,
A lot of years.
lot. And other affiliations for me include, but not limited to, the Miles Perret Cancer Services
Exactly.
Center. Of course, the Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital Board, and now serving on the Franciscan Mission of Our Lady's Health System Board.
Okay.
So we've tried to stay engaged, and we've tried to give back to the community because the Boudreaux family has been blessed. So
Oh.
we give back, and
And you
I'm
guys,
always
even
honored.
Kenneth, same
Yes.
thing for the
Yes.
both of you, from you guys, for years and years. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you again.
That's awesome. I mean, you've been sharing so much, and like you said, you and I we've been knowing each other for a very long time. But I have to tell you, the one thing that I did not know is that Gerald had political aspirations. So tell us about that. What led you to pursue that? I mean, and then you didn't start local. You went to the state level.
Well,
So how did that come about?
Again, it's a calling. I look at it as a calling, and as I said earlier, for the past 32 years, I've worked in the Parks and Recreation Department, which is in government, and it's politics.
It is.
And I've now I'm serving under the 5th mayor in my term of service. So we've actually been a part of it, but then in a different role.
In a different role.
And when Senator Guillory announced that he was going to run for lieutenant governor, I said, this might be an opportunity for me to serve in a different role at a different level. And the district, is just so diverse and the needs, and I kind of looked at it like my recreation job. We work with the youth, we work with the adults, we work with those that are physically and mentally challenged. And we have all that in our district. So I said, maybe it'll put me on a platform where we can continue to work and serve our people.
Okay, so no doubt, just like you said, it's a very diverse group. Democrats, Republicans, rich, white, poor, black,
Independence.
independents. How do you foresee, the challenges of, serving such a diverse district?
Well, it's going to take a lot of work, and we've assembled a great staff that's going to work with us, and I think it starts off, as Pope Francis says so often, with the call to service, and I think when we all commit to serving the people and not ourselves, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
As far as the diversity within the district, I think this district, which comprises a portion of Lafayette Parish, a portion of St. Landry Parish, and a portion of St. Martin Parish.
That's
So
a large
it is
area.
over 83,000 voters, and I
Yeah.
think one of the most important things and one of my biggest priorities is connectivity. We're one district.
Right.
Whether we're Democrats, Republicans, whites, black, rich or poor, we're one. So
That's true.
the success of the district will be evaluated and judged based on how we do as a district.
Right.
So, you know, one of my first tasks is to get around to all of the elected officials in all three parishes and make the commitment that I'll be there, my staff will be there, but we got to work together.
Of
It
course.
can't be Lafayette against St. Landry Parish or St. Landry Parish against St. Martin Parish. We'll all fail.
Well, they all border, no doubt, on each other. So some of the needs of one particular parish will flow into, you know, the other. So I'm sure they all have a lot of the same needs.
No doubt about it. Our initial assessment said exactly that. When you look at the unemployment rate, when you look at the educational standards that we have to improve, it's throughout the district.
Yeah.
So we're going to raise the bar, and we're going to do it. You know, the first task is, like I said, to get everybody on board.
Right.
The election is over.
Yeah.
Who voted for who is not important.
No.
We got
It's
to move
irrelevant.
forward. It is totally irrelevant at this point, and we got to move forward and serve our people. So we're going to be out there. We can't make every event or every activity or every function, but where
You'll
we
be
can.
close to it because
Yeah.
you've been out there,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
before.
And,
So.
we signed up for this job, so I didn't ask,
Right.
you know, for anything that was going to be easy. It's
Right.
going to take a lot of work, and we're prepared for it.
Well, like you said, it's your team, so I'm sure if you can't make a particular event, somebody from your office, you know, would be available to represent you.
No doubt about it. The commitment that we made during the campaign was that we would be visible, and we're going to open up this week an office in Opelousas. We have an office in Lafayette,
Okay.
and you know, I'm working part-time in recreation and full-time in the Senate. You know, but they both work hand in hand. We're working and serving our people.
Well, along the campaign trail, have you had an opportunity to listen to, you know, the constituents? You know, have they started to, you know, share with you their needs and their concerns?
No doubt about it. The day after the election, the phone started ringing.
Already?
Yes, education is one of the areas where a lot of our residents in District 24, it's becoming unaffordable. It's too expensive to send our young people to college for a lot of our people. So we want to, and there's a lot of talk about what we're going to do with TOPS and everything, but we want to be that resource center that we can get the citizens of District 24 in touch with people that can help.
Okay.
People that can deliver the services. So when we talk of, you know, about the needs, one of the things that comes up is education. And you know, there's a lot of talk about the charter schools and where we're going with that. Again, I'm so fortunate that I'll serve on the education committee, so we'll be right there at the table. And listen, everybody is not made to go to college. Okay,
No.
so we got to look at our technical schools. We got to look at some other areas because college is not for everyone.
It isn't.
I accept that. So we just can't put all our eggs in one basket. We got to make sure that, just like we talk about the makeup of the district, when we look at what are the future of our youth, how do we diversify their offerings? Where can we send them? You know, community college route, technical, somewhere we got to find, and those who want to take up a skill. I mean, last time I called a plumber, electrician, they didn't come for free. You know, so those
And
are
they, you know,
skills
those
that-
are really good skills and a good career because those guys, you know, charge quite a bit.
Yes.
I mean, it's technical.
no doubt
It's
about it.
expertise.
No doubt about it. So we education definitely is one, and healthcare. You know, and I said
Lot
it
of talk about
yes,
healthcare.
indeed. And the governor on yesterday signed the executive order so that Louisiana now will receive the money that we're due from the federal government when it comes to the Medicaid expansion. So we're thinking somewhere around July it'll be effective, but it's the ball has already started, and that's the process. And I said it a number of times, Susanna. Until it's your mama, until it's somebody in your family, you don't care.
Are you? Right.
When it hits home,
Right.
then you want to raise holy hell
Right.
as to why they don't have coverage, why we
Right.
can't do this. I've said on a number of occasions, we have to do better in this state. We have to do better in this country when it comes to providing health care. Again, I'm so honored that I've served on hospital boards now for the last 15 years, volunteer boards, where we open doors for those who the need is there, and who are sick. and needed attention, needed medical help. So we need more facilities. We need more facilities that are affordable,
That's true.
And the problem is, and it's not far-fetched, but in third world countries, somebody gets sick in the entire country. There's a big disease that goes around, and it's years before it's cured. And if we don't, get our business straight in this country, there's going to be an epidemic of some sort that comes out because we're putting people to the side.
Right.
One of the other areas I want to address is our veterans.
Before you get to veterans, I wanted to ask about, the Medicaid program.
Yes.
I was actually on the way here listening to folks talk about that. A lot of the hospitals and doctors, they accept that, the Medicaid patients, but it's a challenge. I was understanding like private doctors, making a phone call to them to find out if they accept Medicaid. So they'll say that they do accept Medicaid, but then for only some illnesses. It doesn't cover anything. You may go in like, I'll give myself as an example because I called one dentist's office. My gum was swollen and, I get on the list and, check out the dentist and make a phone call to that particular dentist and explained, oh yeah, we do accept Medicaid, but it doesn't cover that. So it ends up, I felt like it was my responsibility because they weren't telling me what they covered.
No.
So who do you end up seeing? So is that like a flaw in the Medicaid program? Is that something that really needs to be addressed?
Yeah, we have some tweaking at the federal level that has to take place, but one of the components of what President Obama has put on the table is for those areas where you were not covered, the federal government will pick that up. You see, and that's where the need comes in, and that's what we were denied in this state prior to the executive order by Governor Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
So what some of those gaps, now that we're participating, the docs that some of the things that you've experienced and others have experienced, they will cover it now because they're going to get reimbursed.
But weren't they getting reimbursed by what? Maybe
At a smaller percentage,
small,
percentage. So that goes up,
Right.
and the coverage expands. So it's a win-win, and again, there's still some tweaking that'll have to be done. But just to be totally against it without even looking was, in my estimation, just terrible.
Right.
A terrible decision.
Well, and I think with a lot of, the programs that we have, the state programs, no doubt need some tweaking. I really don't think that folks are saying that they don't really support it. I think if it was tweaked, it was better, if it offered the services, if it really helped the people that needed, the help. And then no doubt following up to make sure that folks aren't abusing the system, because there's a lot of, abuse. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, and the abuse is part of the waste, and that's why the cost escalates, and that's why we get into the financial binds we do. So I say let's be proactive, let's get it going, and continue to tweak it. Most of the social programs will impact our people, and in this district, we have a high need for that.
Yeah.
So healthcare is going to be one. Again, I asked, and Senator Lario placed me on the Health and Welfare
I was
Committee.
going to ask
Yes,
which committee
yes,
were you going
yes.
to serve?
So I talked about education earlier,
All
and I'm
right.
also on health and welfare. And then
Okay.
if we can, we go to veterans, and
Right,
I'll
yeah.
be vice chair of the Veterans Affairs. We don't do enough for those who have made that commitment to our country.
They gave their
They
lives.
gave their lives. They left their families.
Families.
Some of them came back to outrageous bills that they're still struggling with. So I'm not saying that it's going to be fixed overnight, but I'll tell you what, every opportunity I can, I want to do whatever is the maximum to show the support that we have for our veterans, including a new facility in our area, which is
Aren't they in the
long
process
overdue.
of building one?
Yeah, it is. It seems like it keeps running into a few hurdles and hiccups, but there is some movement. And sometimes, we just don't have the
I was
patience
just
when
going
we
to say
get to
no
that
patience,
point.
yeah.
We gotta, but people gotta understand the sense of urgency
Yeah.
that's needed. I can recall driving my grandfather to Alexandria, to the Veterans Hospital for his treatment and
Right.
his care. And in 2016, that we should have one in our community.
But you know what? Why can't they attend like a regular hospital? Why do they have to go specifically to a hospital for veterans? I mean, you know, surely, whatever is being covered, the payment, maybe by the government or whatever, why couldn't they go through
That's part of
regular
the
doctors,
yeah.
regular hospital?
That's part of the problem. It's kind of a supply and demand. The veterans, they've done a lot of research, and my readings revealed that they're treated better when you have a separate facility. You go to a regular hospital and it's full, and they need to be hospitalized. Again, the ratio right now, if they would go, and that is an option, that they can go to Lourdes or they can go to General now, but the reimbursement is not going to be the same as if, of course,
Why
when they go.
wouldn't it be, though?
And that's part of the tweaking and some of the
Yeah.
things we say. What does it take to fix this?
Right,
How much more do we have to suffer as veterans
right.
to get it there? So hopefully those will be some of the issues we'll be able to address when it comes to veteran. And then while we're on committees, and then my fourth committee is on retirement.
Okay.
So, as people get to the retirement stage, they want to make sure that their benefits are
Right.
something that they can live with.
Exactly.
And so it's very important, and it's important to those individuals in our state who have worked and who have paid their price. So as they depart, we want an honorable discharge. We
Yeah.
want to thank them for their years of service, and we want to be there so that they can feel like what we contributed, it's going to make the next generation
Yeah.
better.
That's another challenge in
It
that
is,
particular
because you don't have the
area.
funds, and
Right.
whether it's police or fire, whether it's our employees on the municipal side or the parochial side, both of those retirement systems are in trouble financially, and it's another one of those issues.
Yeah, you're walking into some challenges, and
Yeah.
and that's why we're talking, we're asking questions, and I'm surely not looking for anything overnight because it's going to take a while. You're a freshman, senator, you haven't got your feet wet
Right.
yet,
Right.
so
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, and I'm so grateful for this interview today. One of the biggest things, we got to stay involved. We're not involved in our politics. We do a good job of complaining. We do a good job of saying this person's not doing that. But I want to encourage people to go to your local council meetings, get involved. It doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with. Get involved. Your voice counts.
Yeah.
Your voice counts. And if I could say that again, I ask them to get involved. I don't mind you calling me, but I want you to go to some of the city council meetings. I want you to go to whether it's an
School
Opelousas
board.
school board.
Right.
I want you to go to St. Landry Parish School. Let's not just send our kids to school and complain about the teacher. Let's do our part.
Right.
Let's not complain about our government. We talk about roads and we talk about bridges. Well, let's get involved. And at the local level is where we're gonna have that connectivity that I talked about at the onset of this interview. Because we're gonna be connected, but I need the people to be connected. I need you to come out and ask whoever your council member is. You need to know who they are. And I venture to say, people don't know who their school board member is.
No, some folks don't know who their state representative
Yes,
is.
and the
State
state senator,
senator.
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
When we talked about the makeup of this district, people had asked me, why are you running for a seat in Opelousas? I said, well, we're all in the same
Because you're
city.
from Lafayette,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Exactly.
and so that awareness, we have to increase, and we have to do a better job of going out to the polls. We gotta vote. This is just like rhetoric. You hear it and
It's
hear
rhetoric.
it, and until, again, no different than healthcare, until it impacts us, until we get the wrong person elected that doesn't listen and don't care, we're gonna say, well, maybe we could have done a little bit more. I'm asking that we do a better job of getting involved, not to go around and be a political grandstander. I'm just saying, be involved, be connected, and make some requests.
Well, and then the other thing too, Senator, just, from the constituents, and the people in the community, they have an opportunity to meet with their elected official instead of waiting, for someone else to talk to them, or maybe waiting for someone else to ask that burning question that they've been wanting to ask, because there's no, wrong question.
Not at
There's,
all.
you're going to find out, and sometimes the best way to do it is, just go directly, to the source. So I'm with you. How do we do that though? Because that's something I've talked about, folks going to meetings, and sometimes I get burnt out,
Yes, no doubt
attending.
about it.
It's the same people
Yes.
attending over and over again. How do we do that?
We're going to continue to preach. We're going to continue to say the same things. I said preach, and literally, that's another alliance that I want to continue to develop. We have some our religious leaders in this community that are very active, and I'm going to ask them to help us. I know there's a ministerial alliance that
They've
was formed.
started that, the Senior
and
Pastoral
yes, indeed.
Alliance.
I will support them because they will be the ones to help us to accomplish this.
Yeah.
Because from the pulpit, they can do it.
Yeah.
But we all collectively going to be part of that process of getting our people involved and engaged. And we got a census going to be coming up in a couple of years, another count. And it's so important that everybody gets
scared of
counted.
census.
Yeah, they knock on your door and you're afraid to tell them how many people live in the house because you think they're gonna come and charge you or something like that. But we it's kind of like the computer. So many people when the computer came out were scared to get
Right.
on. I use the same analogy with swimming. So many people are afraid of the water.
Right.
We got to get them acclimated to the water, especially in our area with all the rivers and ponds and everything else.
Exactly.
But we got to get them so they understand when the Census Bureau comes out and they start knocking on doors, if you don't answer, they don't count you.
But too, the other thing is, I think they're already, having access to that through employers, through your job. So much is reported. I remember, new, requests coming in. As soon as you hire somebody, send this information in. When they're gone, send this information in. So, believe it or not, for the folks out there, the government already has access
That's
to a
correct.
lot of that information. I would venture to say that some of the people that maybe are leery of the census or maybe folks that are taking advantage of the system.
Oh, no doubt about it. We have some of that. And technology is, hopefully we can come up with a better way of counting. But what we have been able to conclude is that it's selective counting. I mean, they know where you work and all that other stuff. But until you complete the process, they won't count you. And a lot of times it's in minority districts that they don't count
And
those.
we want to get counted because,
We want to.
That's how
we
can
get federal
determine
dollars.
the
That's
federal
how we get-
dollars, determine the needs, providing access to capital.
No doubt about it. All of those. So it's very important. And so we got to, you brought up the Senior Ministerial Alliance, and that's going to be critical and crucial to our area to help improve the quality of life for our people.
Senator, the quality of life, but as I, I did interview Pastor Lazard, and the one thing I see, with the Senior Pastoral Alliance is, the start of formulating leadership in the Black community, because we've had the challenges, of leaders, coming together, working together, respecting each other, and I really feel that starting with that alliance, if they're headed in the right direction, that could be the start of, formulating, solid
Agree.
leadership in
Yes.
our community that is so needed. And there are a lot of people doing a lot of wonderful things. I always say it's good to collaborate.
No doubt about it.
Put all your, efforts together, to benefit. So I'm looking for something very optimistic about that. They are the ones that are in touch with the masses of the community.
That's correct.
Every Sunday, throughout the day, So, I really think that's powerful.
No doubt about it.
That is powerful. And the thing I, shared with Pastor is that, it would be great, if the communities embrace it.
Yes.
The congregations, just embrace it and be there to support.
No doubt about it. I agree.
Be
Yes.
there to support. That's one of the things that we need to do. So with that, I'm thinking too with you being engaged with your constituents, the community. How often do you plan to maybe schedule meetings? I'm thinking I wanted to come up with this unique name where you can go out and say, well, okay, this is the Boudreaux Connectivity, meeting or something. How often would you like to meet with your constituents?
Well, at least twice a year in a formal setting. I think after the session is over, I think that a town hall meeting is appropriate for us to. We send out the flyers in the bulletin, and some people read them and some don't. But I think an open dialogue with the constituents after the session is over with, to just address it, and if there's some special areas, whether it's 232 help, we again need to connect with the resources. So whatever the crux of the session, I think, we would like to have the resource people there. If it's going to be amendments to the budget that will impact services, then I want those service groups there so they can do it. And then so that would be after the session. And then as we move forward, we would want something before the session so that we can get that input. So many times we say, go online and do this and do that. No, I like to have a meeting where people can come in, somebody take notes, old school, and these were the things that were expressed at the meeting. So at least twice a year in a formal setting. But as I continue to be involved in the community and attend different social events and other organizational meetings, I'll be there listening to get that feedback. Whether it's the NAACP, whether it's some church groups, whether it's our Senior Pastoral Alliance. So collectively, if we can get all of those groups on board, where they also serve as a conduit and they channel those requests to us, we'll be so much stronger.
Right. Yeah, and I was thinking, before I came here, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he can meet with the constituents on a quarterly basis, but when you're putting it that way, twice a year, in a formal setting sounds wonderful, because, no doubt as you're involved with so many different organizations, you'll be attending those meetings, you'll be getting that information, you'll be connecting on an ongoing basis with folks. So, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I wish the best for you, because when you do well, everybody will do well. So that's what I'm looking, for folks to do, support the senator, in his endeavors, because as he's out there, working for you, it's about making things better for you. And he's already talked about, some of his priorities. So I'm going to go ahead and let you, give some closing comments. Let folks know where your office is, how they can be in contact with you. And I'll just let you know that if you want more information on the Southern View, you can go to our website. It's thesouthernview.wordpress.com, and you can always find us on Facebook. And we're so happy to have the opportunity to interview the senator. So give us your closing comments. It's just been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm honored and blessed to serve as the senator in District 24. As I said earlier, I take it as a calling, and I take it as a serious calling. My family and I are looking forward to serving you, the people of District 24. We talked about some of our priorities earlier, and I'll just reiterate again. When we look at education, when we look at healthcare, when we look at unemployment, those are the things that we're going to be working with our people in all three parishes to make sure that we improve that quality of life. The service aspect of our office is going to be key. We are going to provide quality customer service. We're located in St. Landry Parish in the District Attorney's Building on the first floor. That's the corner of Front and Court Streets in Earl Taylor, the District Attorney's Building. So we'll have an office there. The office will be open on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday. And then our other office will be in Lafayette on Moss Street, 2900 Moss Street, Suite B, right across from the Budweiser plant. And that office will be open 5 days a week. We will have on our Facebook page all of the contact information. But I'm here to work and serve you, the people. So when you see me at Super One, when you see me at Bros Mart, when you see me at church, let me know what's on your mind. I signed up for this job to work and serve you, the people of District 24. Thank you, and God bless.